What up, what up, what up, fam? How y'all doing tonight? As you can see, I'm going live from my phone again. I ordered a new HDMI cord for my computer, and hopefully that'll be here. I know it'll be here by next week, unless, as the old folks say, if God willing and the creek don't rise. I wonder, it's like, before we get started, I'm waiting on Miss Carter. That's a funny saying. If God willing and the creek don't rise, does God control the creek? Can the creek rise and override God? That's something I always thought about growing up. Can y'all hear me? If y'all can hear me, let me hear you say, yay, 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 yay. Welcome to another week of Ranting and Raving Wednesdays with me, your host, Javon Clark, and my co-host, Carla Nicole. We are waiting for her to get in. She is handling some business, but she will be here soon. I don't want to ruin the topic for you guys. I want her to tell the topic, but I promise you it's a beautiful topic. It's a topic that me and my wife have been discussing for years. It's a topic I've discussed with every woman that I've ever dealt with for years, because I'm kind of a behaviorist. Like, I kind of think people should behave. I want adults to behave like adults. I don't like when people say stuff like, this is just how I am, or justifying their actions and not changing in a relationship, or changing and knowing how to will and deal. I used to always tell people, when you go down to the welfare office or go down to the fucking Social Security office for some help, I promise you know how to talk. I promise you know how to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. I promise you know how to inquire. I promise you know how to say, excuse me, ma'am, I'm here. I'm looking for the Social Security office, trying to get some benefits. Excuse me, ma'am, I'm looking for the welfare. You see what I'm saying? So I'm one of these people. I despise when somebody say, this is just how I am. I think we know what we're doing at all times. I think we adjust fast. I think we think on the run. What up, Greg? I think we think on the run. I think you cannot behave without thinking. There's no way I can just end up in the bathroom. I have to think, I gotta pee. I can sit there and think I gotta pee all day. But at some point I have to move. I don't just show up in the bathroom. So when I tell somebody I hate them, when I tell somebody get the fuck out of my face, when I tell somebody anything, when you having a conversation with somebody and you tell them you don't love them, or you tell them anything to hurt their feelings. What up, Roger? I just really believe that humans in general, we know what we're doing. And tonight when Miss Carla get on, from reading the what she sent me, it's going to be a real good show. I think there's so many situations where people do things and say things and try to act like it happened by osmosis. Now, I do believe in the concept. I think it's, what is it? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's, I can't remember. It's not your pineal gland. That's what they say. Your pituitary gland. I think it's your pituitary gland. It's not fully developed in an adult today, say like 27, 28 years old. And having said that, I do believe there's some things that your mind is incapable of grasping at a certain age. For example, when I was a young man, a little boy, and somebody said 50, I was like, 50 years old? They finna die. That's because my pituitary gland hadn't developed in a way in which my mind couldn't assess time. At 10 years old, my mind couldn't assess time. My mind couldn't assess immortality. My mind couldn't assess that. So when somebody said they was 50, I was like, they old. And then when I got older and I got 20 and my mind could possibly assess time, and somebody said, Miss Jones want to give you some, she 50 and I was 20, I was like, she gonna give me worms. She old. And just think how 20 is close to being half of 50. But at 20 years old, the way I looked at 50 like that's That's somebody old as hell. That's somebody old and gray. And now at 50, think about how my mind has formed and changed as it relates to understanding time and mortality. Now at 50, shit, I feel like I'm 20. I can think back. I remember when I first dropped my son off to North Carolina Central University, I was like, this boy go to Central. And I can remember yesterday, my mom dropping me off. I can clearly remember it, like my mom dropping me off at college, and my mom said, well, you're going to have to grow up now, son. You're going to have to act like you got some sense. These grown men you up here with. And I remember my mom had went to Highland Myers and Henderson, refrigerator, got me a little air conditioner, got me a little microwave. I had my own room set up. Didn't even have a roommate yet. So I pushed the beds together, made me a king size or whatever with the two little twin beds. And I remember my mom saying, it's time to grow up. You ain't here by yourself. You're going to have to be a man. And she walked out. And I'll never forget when my mom walked off, I looked around that dorm room when I was by myself and I started crying. Because I was from such a small town, I was like, wow, I'm by myself now. And I promise you, no less than 30 seconds after I started crying, somebody knocked on the door and said, hey, bro, you riding with us over to Duke Hall to the party? Great Hall. I said, yeah, I'm going. And I just went downstairs and it was like, everybody on the football team that was already there was like packing up in cars, and we were getting in the car and we rode over to Great Hall and had a great time. So it's a situation where a lot of times our mind can't assess certain things, but when it comes down to behaviorism and doing things, I think we know what we're doing. I'm waiting on Miss Carla because I don't want to give up her topic, but like I said, it's a great topic. It's a great topic. It's human nature. Sometimes we find ourselves, that's one of the reasons I don't lie. That's one of the reasons I don't lie. I'm not good at lying and recovering and rebounding. When I used to lie, I used to tell the girl something. Appreciate that, Kenneth. When I used to lie to women, I used to tell women stuff. And I used to find them saying stuff like, thank you, honey. That's your other bitch. I be talking to a woman and I've been and told her a lie and can't remember what lies I told what woman. Sometimes I would tell lies so good that I would be believing them. I would have dreams of myself doing the lie. And before I know it, I believed the lie. And so when I would be around somebody that was with me, I would say, yeah, man, you remember that time we such and such? And the motherfucker said, Javon, stop lying, nigga. That's some shit you done told some girl. We ain't do that shit. I literally would lie. I would get so engulfed in a lie, it wasn't a good thing for me. And I think I stopped lying when I was about 21, 22 years old is when I stopped lying. I remember one summer school, I had met this chick at Target, and it was like an older chick. She was about 40. I was about 19 or 20. And I was like, hollering at her. And she was like, well, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm about to go back to the dorm, try to find me a place to stay, yada, 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 yada. I'm waiting on my school refund check to come. And I was like, yeah, just bragging. Like, I think I might have been getting like maybe $4,000. And I was like, I'm getting like $10,000. And somehow we got to talking, and she took me to get something to eat, and we ended up going back to her house messing around. And she was like, well, if you're getting all that money, you can stay with me during the summer. You just give me a little bit of bread when you get your check. So I done lied and said I was getting more money than I was getting, knowing I didn't want to get this lady no money, but I needed a room for the summer to get back eligible. Basically, I done gave up my housing so I can get money back. And none of the boys ended up staying on campus. So I'm staying with this chick, and she got a damn like 5 or 6 year old son. She going to work the next day, and the little nigga jump up, and I'm in there with the little nigga, and I'm like, wow, I'm babysitting. I done lied my way into a babysitting mode, and I'm babysitting, and she expecting me to give her some bread at the end of the summer. But I needed a place to stay. And Shorty was kind of fine. And you know what I'm saying? Back then, I didn't care about being over a woman's house that had a kid. As I got older, I wouldn't do that. But I just remember just lying so much. I would get so caught up in a lie. It would seem so real to me. Like, and I realized that was a gift and a curse, because I can break down crying right now. Imagination so strong. When I would tell lies, I would imagine lies so strong. Like I said, I've told lies about situations, and we talking to some girls, and I'm looking over at my homeboy like, yeah, man, you remember we did this? And he looking like, yeah, Clark, yeah. You know, it's kind of like I'm lying so hard, I'm pulling him into the lie, trying to get him to lie with me. So I stopped lying. I can't keep up with my lies. And then I thought about it one day. I was like, I be lying because I'm scared. And that's one thing I prided myself on. I never wanted to be scared of somebody. I always wanted to stand 10 toes down. You know, we grew up in the country, a small town. We pluck wood, tobacco, hay. So a fight won't nothing. When I grew up in an area, when we meet you, we want to wrestle you first or slap box you. Like, we got to slap box first. Best out of 3. We're going to slap box first. Then we're going to wrestle first. Who's ever back hit the ground, best 2 out of 3. It's like, so I grew up in a place where I was always in competition, and I was never really scared of anything. And then I realized for the first time in my life, when I was lying, I was like, I'm doing that out of fear. I'm scared somebody ain't gonna like me. I'm scared somebody gonna try to take advantage of me. I like a girl, and I'm lying, scared that if I tell her the truth about my situation, she's not gonna like me. And I just realized, I was like, yo, I don't like nobody enough to lie to. Like, the people that I lied to that it didn't work, I realized, why did you tell all those lies? You walk away. And as a child, I used to lie a lot. Like, I could have damn peanut butter on my hands and mouth, and I'm going to say I ain't getting no peanut butter. And my mom was like real, she raised us kind of like a man. Like, she going to make us tell the truth. If my mom, I had the type of mother that if you told the truth, you might not get her ass whipped. But I was just going to lie anyway. And I remember my mom hitting me or spanking me and said, tell the truth. And I'll cry. Fall out on the floor. God, please take me away. I'm getting in trouble for nothing. I'm always getting in trouble for nothing. I would be talking to God. I would run away behind a lie. I would do so many things behind a lie. So that's what I'm talking about tonight when Miss Carla get in. I'm not sure if she can get in. I can't get off because I'm on my phone. But I guess we'll get into the subject. She talked about why do women snap? Why do women snap? Why do women just let stuff build up? Like, as a man, that's what we think is happening. We think that stuff is building up. They're not saying anything. They're not expressing their emotions. And then all of a sudden they just, bam, they can't take it no more. They snap. They can't take it no more. They snap. And Miss Carla really explains what's happening. And I just don't want to take that from her because I can't explain it like her. And I got a lot of questions to ask about it. Like, I be thinking that women are just living life. They're overlooking stuff. They like, I don't want to nag. I don't want to make them mad. I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to ruin their day. And then all of a sudden they snap. But it seemed like they just snap at the wrong time, whether it's at a family union, a family function, a barbecue, right before a holiday, right before the wedding. It's like women see, and I always say to my wife, I have a saying. I say women put their foot down at the wrong time. Okay, she says she here. I don't know how. Okay, look. Let me invite guests. Copy. If you're here, Miss Carla, can you come on to the stream from this? Let me see. She says she's here. Let me send this to her real quick. Invite guests. I don't know why I didn't let her come in. Copy. Okay, let's see. Let's see, can she come in now? I just sent it to her. Maybe I sent her the wrong link before. Miss Carla, can I get you to come in? Let me see, can I send it to her phone? How can I send this? I wonder why it's not showing me that she's trying to get in. Okay, I think that's it right there. What's up, Miss Carla?
Hey, how are you?
How long you been in the room? Maybe I sent the wrong link or what you think was going on?
I don't know. I just got there maybe about 4 minutes ago, so you're good.
Okay. I felt like I was drowning in water because I didn't want to bring up the topic, but I was talking around certain things in my life that I know that I've done that possibly have been a situation. But we're gonna let you go ahead and get into the topic because I know I'm still on this time schedule, but this is a conversation I've been wanting to have. When I was reading your bullet points, I was like, wow, she's explaining it so well. And it kind of makes me have a little bit of empathy for women.
Hold that thought. Keep talking. I'm listening.
Yeah, it kind of makes me have a little empathy for women the way that you explained it. But I still kind of don't. But the way that you're explaining is making me see like maybe this is something that our brains are wired totally different in a different way. Wang wang, we all we got, we all we need. Hey, that sound like some shit that one of them rappers would be saying. Wang wang, wang wang. You know what? Ain't that what the Jamaicans said? Wang wang, ya wang gone, or whatever the fuck it sound like that. But I think I could say wang wang. We all we got, we all we need, family. You know what I mean? What's up, Trav? Yeah, man. I'm so excited about this topic. I think it's something that a class needs to be taught on for women. I really think this should be a class, a series, something that women can tune in, tap in, and turn on to, because I see it as one of the biggest problems in our culture because it really just stops genuine good communication. But I want you to go ahead and bring up the topic tonight. And I got so many questions I got to ask you. You know what I'm saying? But you do your explaining like you need to.
So welcome, everybody. It's Coach Carla Nicole and the handsome Javon Clark. We are on ranting and raving this evening. We're going to keep it going like we always do. We're going to rant and rave and talk about some things that many people don't want to discuss. But, man, it's very important we get into this because it's a very hot topic. So I wrote an ebook called She's Beside Herself. And Devon and I kind of chuckled and kind of had a laugh about this. What does she's beside herself really mean? Remember, we kept laughing like, I don't know what that means. But we used to get popped in the mouth as young girls when we would get to doing too much with aunties or grandmothers or mama. And we would be told, well, she's beside herself. She's starting to go a little too far. And so I wanted to talk about what does this mean? Why did I write the book? How can we really change and transform the minds of women who think that they're grown because they've managed to be on the planet for so long? That doesn't necessarily mean that you're grown. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've already reached a pillar state of emotional stability and emotional maturity. So in the book, I actually compressed down, well, what age are you really? I get that you're, what to say, 55. But you act 9 years old in your emotional states when you get upset, disappointed, frustrated, mad, angry, and I can go on and on. So how are you actually handling certain things? How I determine what your emotional state is from three things: how you react, how you respond, and how you resolve. Okay? I'm going to say that again. How you react, how you respond, and how you resolve something.
The 3 R's.
The 3 R's. Yes, that's my 3R spectrum that I have actually in the book. Okay? So first we're going to talk about reaction. And I know all men can talk about, all men have this understanding with when we get angry or upset or frustrated. How does a woman snap instead of speak to a man when she's feeling discomfort, angry, hurt, mad, upset, disappointed? Women tend to get beside themselves when emotions stay trapped too long. We'll talk about that. How do we suppress our needs? We have a tendency for overfunctioning in emotions. We ignore early discomforts. Well, the core truth is our reactions are delayed boundaries, finally enforcing themselves. Okay? So when we get to that point, we need to realize that, oh, you know what? I'm having a hard time distributing my feelings. We call them emotions, but men know them as feelings. Oh, she's in her feelings. Oh, man, my girl, she's tripping. She's in her feelings. Well, yes, that's also emotional turmoil, turbulence, whatever. So we're going to talk about why do women snap instead of speak.
It's a funny thing because I know in dealing with women, I know that the reaction is a lot of times they think that they're responding when they're really reacting, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference in the action and the response. And I know the words seem the same, but to me, a reaction is like, oh shit. And a response is a thought out, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what comes out of her mouth.
Yeah, it's like you can look up and you can see a bear in the woods, right? And down here in the country, we always say it's a saying: if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down. Okay. If you see a brown bear, you better lay down and act like you dead. That's the only way you're gonna survive.
Wow.
If you see a black bear will eat a dead carcass. So you better start fighting that motherfucker. So it's like, that's the way I look at react and respond. It's like I could look up and see a bear and say, oh shit, and take off. Or I can look up and see a bear and wait for a second and say, let me think. Okay, brown lay down, black fight back. Now my response is based on something that I've thought about and understood. Yeah. So that's how I kind of looked at that. Right. And how I resolve that situation is based on my response. Like, yes, it's black, I'm gonna fight back. That's my resolve. If it's brown, I'm gonna lay down. Yeah. I'm not gonna think and respond to, okay, if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down. And then my resolve be to run. That
Right.
doesn't match. That doesn't match my logic. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I found myself in conversation with a lot of times with women, and they're reacting in their responses.
Right.
And it's like each answer gets worse and worse and worse. Each answer defends more and more and more. And it's like I find myself feeling like you're digging a hole, and it's sounding crazier and crazier because each time you react and I process that with you, then instead of saying, well, I overreacted and I just said that, you try to explain that answer and explain that answer. It's like a situation. I'd be so confused, and that's why I have some questions. It's like if your first reaction is to say, well, I saw Santa Claus outside. You know what I mean? And how can you explain that you saw Santa Claus? You can only your explanation can get worse and worse. Well, I saw the reindeer too. You can't tell me I ain't see the sleigh. You can't tell me the reindeer shitted on the ground. We can go outside and look at the shit on the ground. Oh, it's gone. So it's a situation where if your first reaction, if your response is a reaction, they get worse and worse, and you find yourself defending yourself. And I just would be like, I've almost just cried talking to women and trying, and I've gotten out paper and I would show you, okay, 11:45 you said this, 11:50 you said this, now you're saying this. You see how this don't go with this? And I never could get them to because it's always like I'm protecting myself. If I say I'm wrong, then it's like I have to go back to the original. You see what I'm saying? And I always be wondering, and this is the ultimate question I got for you. And I don't know if I want to debate you or just listen to you, because the stuff you put down made sense, but I just don't want to feel like women are just that fucking. It's like almost like the ultimate question I've had is, when women are doing that, do they know they're doing that? Are they just in defense mode and just saying anything? Do they know they're doing it? And I be feeling like a woman would rather play dumb and let you think that she's dumb before she stop doing that. So that's the question that I have. What's happening when you just can't reason and you know she's being disingenuous? What's happening right there?
Well, I love this question because this is one of the main reasons why I wrote the book. Because in the ebook, it actually explains and expresses where this comes from. When we're young little girls, we are taught to be princesses. We are taught to put on a facade, put on your little dresses, be pretty, be nice, be always people pleasing. So because of those certain so-called myths or whatever we're taught young, we're supposed to be good girls. So we don't do anything wrong per se. So because of that, Javon, we have been taught that if we go against the grain, or if we become rebellious, if we want to do something challenging, or we want to be out there playing with the boys, that is not looked at as a girly type of thing. And it was looked down on in our time when we were growing up, the 70s and 80s. That wasn't okay. We couldn't be outside with boys in a dress and playing in the dirt with boys. We had to come in, we had to get dressed properly, jeans or capris, we had to have certain attire. Now everything kind of is more open to, oh, that doesn't matter, they can go out and have fun. So a lot of things we were taught early on as young girls, that we have to sit a certain way, pray who we're going to be to the man ahead of time. So once you get involved with the man, we start to take everything off. Remember, most women act a certain way up until the ring is given. And then once the ring is given, the decrease of, I don't know, we can say
respect,
valuing you, caring about you, checking for you, all of that starts to go on a decline because what she received was the ring first. I got my ring. Look. So now I can let my hair down. Now I can decompress.
It's like waiting to exhale. You know, the rapper Mace said something that was so amazing. He had money. He said that he took his wife ring shopping and let her pick out any ring she wanted.
Okay.
And once she picked it out, he said, "Now pay for it." And that's when I proposed. He said women value their own sacrifice more than they value a man's sacrifice. So it's a situation. So let me get this straight, because I kind of get what you're saying psychologically. I've always thought about that princess concept. I just didn't call it like that. Okay. The world shapes a boy into a situation where a boy is going to be held accountable. A boy who's faking going to get his ass kicked. A boy who's faking, it's gonna get told on. It's gonna show up. For a boy, my granddaddy used to always say, "Boy, you're going to jail or hell," but men gonna straighten situations out. So men are always kind of held accountable from a little boy. You know what I'm saying? Are you saying that the fake gene, let's call it the fake gene, meaning when this little girl wants to run, jump, and climb trees, somebody put a dress on her and made her have to act a certain way to the point where she got used to acting from childhood?
Absolutely. And matter of fact, remember, I don't know if you remember this. This is a fairly early on when we first did a show. Can you remember when I said a long time ago that girls usually have more experience with relationships and boys usually have more experience with sex?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where it starts. Usually the girls have the experience with relationship. It doesn't mean that she's better at it. It just means she's had experience with it. Boys usually have had many sexapades, many different female partners, many different sex scenes. So he has more to go off on that. So if we look at this for what it is, we can look at it and see, well, wait a minute. Girls seem to have more understanding in how to, you would think, in how to be more willing to work together. But I don't see it anymore. I'm finding that that's not really the case. Matter of fact, I'm like, we're talking about 50-50 now? Why? I'm confused. Why is that a conversation? If you can remember, Javon, when we were going to college or when we decided to move out of our parents' home, we had a roommate. And we would do 50-50. It was just basic. That's just basic stuff. So I'm conflicted with, why are we talking about this? Isn't this the norm? I'm confused. I mean, aren't we supposed to both contribute? I don't understand it.
You know what I think, Carla? You know what I think, that conversation, and I don't want to delve too deep into that, but just to answer your question, I think we have a new generation of women that can't provide their 50. And they don't have no resources. They own the welfare. I think the 50-50 conversation is a welfare rat conversation. It's a conversation of a woman wanting to be saved. It's a conversation of a woman that can't take care of herself. So to say 50-50 means I got to do my half. So I think that's a woman that want to be saved. I got an example I have for you that I think that's kind of explains what you're saying. I want you to tell me, am I right or wrong? But I look at it, I take everything back to whether if a woman really like you. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If a woman really like you, it can have like a twofold thing, like you were saying, that wanting to be right, that not wanting to be wrong. Like, for example, I give you an example. Today is my wife's birthday. And I had to, a family member needed to borrow some money, and I had asked them, well, what's your Cash App? And then when they sent me the Cash App, they texted to me. I texted to my wife, this is the Cash App. Send this person the money, and this is the name on it. Now, it was clear. Copy and paste. I said, copy and paste this Cash App. She called me. the such and such want to send the cash out, da 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 da. And in my mind, I'm saying, yeah, that's exactly what I text you. She called me and asked me that.
Okay.
Then after she called me and asked me, she got ready to type it in and she texted me, is it this one right here? And she called me again. And I said, yeah, that's it. I said, Chris, I said copy and paste it. She was like, yeah, but I had never seen that Cash App. So I was just making sure. I said, okay. Then after she typed it in, she screenshot the picture of it and sent it to me. Is this it right here? I said, Chris, I never sent them a Cash App. I don't know if that's it. But if you copy and paste exactly what I sent to you, you'll be good. And she was like, yeah, and I was saying all that to say, there's something in a woman that makes them never want to be wrong. They never want to make a mistake. Yes. And when a woman respects you, admires you, and loves you, they go overboard. In my mind, I was like, hey, I sent you the shit. Copy and paste it in the fucking thing. But it's 3 conversations and 2 texts because she don't want to disappoint me.
No.
It's so many things happening at that same time. Some of it is she don't want to disappoint me. Some of it she respects me. Some of it is fear. It's a whole lot of things happening that makes her not want to make this mistake. But I always tell her all the time, I say, Chris, you know, the worst I'm going to say is, well, baby, such and such and such. I don't go through that. So what are you so scared of? You're a grown ass person. What are you so scared of? Now, that's on the good end. Although it may be a little irritating, like saying, I don't want to think for myself. Tell me exactly what to do because I'm going to do exactly the way you say it, because if it don't come out right, you can't blame it on me. That's a good thing in a way, although it's a little irritating, right?
Of course, yes.
And then on the other end of the spectrum, it's, I respect you so much, I don't want to be wrong, that I'll lie and manipulate.
Of course.
A defense mechanism.
Yes.
So that's happening on 2 ends of the spectrum.
Yes, absolutely.
What is making that like that? I know you said the little girl syndrome used to fake it, but now we grown. You know what I'm saying? Now we done seen you period draws. We done seen them in the sink. We done smelled the penis. You know, what is it that you're avoiding? Like, now that you're grown, you know, we know it's still in your mind, but come on now, like this is
conflict. We're avoiding conflict because when something doesn't go right, it sounds good from you on this end, how you're explaining. I told her where it was. I gave her the Cash App. She checked it. I gave it to her again. She called me twice and all that. But had she sent that Cash App to the wrong person, would it have been the same version that you are right now if that went wrong and that person contacted you and said, oh my God, Devon, I didn't get the money. And I thought I sent it to you, and you said that I told her to copy and paste it. She copied and pasted it, and it still went to the wrong person. Would you be as jovial and nice, or would it be the different version of you where it would have been to an anger to a different degree?
Well, the thing is, if she copied and pasted it, I wouldn't have no problem. I would say, well, hey, I'd tell the person, hey, you sent the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying is it would have caused for Chris to feel away.
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. It's almost like it's such a little girl behavior, like you explained, on both ends, because it's like you want to make me responsible for your wrong. I only told you copy and paste it.
Right. Like
copy and paste it. But then on the flip side, on this end over here, it's like especially dealing with a baby in the beginning, or anything, it could be like something like real simple directions. It just happens with all women. With me, it can be real simple directions. Tear paper in half, lay it on each side.
Right.
And they'll come to me like, hey, this said tear each paper in half and lay it on each side. I'd be like, I'm glad that, and it's part of it may be like, I'm glad that you respect me and you don't want to make a mistake and you don't want to be wrong. But now you're making me feel like you're dumb or you're scared of me. I mean, I'm Carla, you know exactly what I mean. Do you do that? Have you do that? Do you do that with your guy?
And you're going to laugh about this because this just happened. I'm talking about this is raw truth. This is the last time he took a trip. I had made the reservation for his hotel. The hotel was, we'll just say, 2911 Center Street. The damn hotel I booked was at 2950 across the street. He calls me in an outrage, furious. What is this? What happened? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now I'm on a call with a client. I'm trying to be nice and soothing, and I'm in an outrage because I'm like, oh my God, what happened? You took the points. I mean, it was just a shindig over this. Now that is what women don't want. So they're gonna do everything possible to not have that reaction because they don't like that overwhelming upset from the man they're involved with, overwhelming upset from someone that they care about, because they don't want to upset. So in our personalities, we're trying to appease or please the person we're with. Anyway, he's going on and on about this damn address, and I'm thinking, well, shit, it's across the street. Just go take your ass across the street. But I was like, forget it, never mind. After all of that, the hotel ended up being, I don't know, $90 cheap after we got everything. And after all of that, the whole shindig, whole argument, whole back and forth. But the truth of the matter is, he ended up apologizing to me. Like, I'm sorry, I apologize for what happened. I didn't go left and center. And I was like, I got real quiet because, y'all think if I apologize, you're still going to have a sour attitude. And I said, well, I apologize. And it was like, it caught him off guard. Like, what? I was like, because I didn't double check the address. So all that double checking that Chris is doing, I wish I would have done, and I would have avoided that whole shindig about having the wrong address.
Now, let me ask you something. So say, for example, I go out of my way, and Chris will tell you this. I don't know. People think that my internet persona of talking shit or just being, right, they think that that's, I'm the type of person, right?
Yep.
And it hurts me. And I always tell Chris, I say, Chris, I believe you're so afraid to make a mistake because you want to go off on me. My wife be itching to catch me in a mistake so she can go off. You see what I'm saying? And fuss. You know what I'm saying? And I be telling her, say for example, in certain situations, I always say, Chris, you're grown. You're grown. I'm not gonna whoop you. I'm not gonna fuss at you. I just asked you. I make it my business to try to be as soft and gentle as possible. And my wife just say, hey, I just don't like how it feels to mess up. Right. And I'm like, what do I have to do with that to the point that will make you fearful, or to the point that if I'm not going to fuss at you and cuss you out and you've grown, why would you lie or manipulate or act like you don't know what's going on when I ain't fucking doing that? I'm not hitting you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it hurts my feeling. It's like you done already prejudge how you think I'm gonna react, and I never react like that.
But you can't. Again, you have been in a love affair for a long duration of time. The version you are talking to me and the version you were when you would get upset a long time ago, has to be unlearned. And there has to be many patterns of change for you to be adaptable to the new version of how you work. Even though your reaction has really tapered a lot, you're more calm and reserved, to her that's still branded. So in order to unlearn that, she has to have a couple. She tries to make sure she doesn't even get to that. So she's trying to really curtail any type of. If you realize that the enjoyment of having the harmony and harmonious relationship is oftentimes what we love the most. So when we have the turbulence, it's not really somewhere or really a place we want to be at. So
Okay, do me a favor. Take it out of me.
Okay.
Why y'all do it with everybody?
Because we don't like that feeling.
Why is that such a and that's why I always say, and women get upset sometimes. I said a woman is weaker than a 4-year-old girl. It's like I keep hearing women say, and when you break it down honestly, you're being honest. Same way my wife is just honest. You know, when we discuss with couples, and we have people and married couples, or my brother and his wife, or different people around. My wife is always honest, and women be talking in circles, and my wife always said, "I just don't like how I feel," and it's like, okay, I understand that, right?
Right.
But don't you understand that there are things that men don't like how it feel when money is short and I ain't got it, or I come up short, or I have to be the one. It's so many times we don't like how it feel that we have to sit there and listen and talk about it.
Right.
It's so it amazes me. Okay, what's so I used to tell my wife, Chris, how about when you feel like that, tell me, this is one of those times I don't like how it feel. Can we write it down on paper?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just some about the truth and what you did or didn't do, or what you need to do. It's just some about that turns y'all into a fucking, like your heartbeat start beating fast and so many things happen, and it can take. Do you understand? I'm saying that right there is ruining the ability of effective conversation at all times.
Yes. And matter of fact, because of this is why I'm helping women to understand that the reaction itself can really help to destroy the intimacy. And we don't understand that because all we know how to do is react. So now I'm helping women in the book, and she's beside herself, to pause and ask yourself. See, the way we improve and advance our awareness is to be able to sit down and look at self. When our man or our lover or our gentleman, that if we have multiple lovers, if they sit us down and say, look, you have a tendency to do this, rather than immediately reacting and start arguing and start claiming I'm not and start denying and all that, sit in it for a minute. I love what you said. Write it down. Yes, absolutely. I tell clients this all the time. You need to write down what is going on with you. Because a lot of times we can't even come to our truth for real. We spend most of our time arguing about what we are, what we're doing, and no, we're not. Sit down in it and really embrace what he's telling you. Because oftentimes we don't know that affects you the way it does. So what you just said was another powerful thing you had brought up, is that men feel uncomfortable with y'all keep asking all these questions because it's making us feel like we're over exaggerated, or
I used to tell my wife all the time, it make me feel like you think I'm a monster. Over the simplest thing, you lying, manipulating, not explaining. And I say lying and manipulating. And I know women hate to hear those words, but when you're trying to avoid accountability,
yes,
and you know how it, that's what my wife used to say. When I get defensive, I don't know. I say, Chris, the thing that made your heart beat fast, the thing that made you defensive, the second you felt that, you know what you're doing. Right. You know what you're doing. So it would be a situation where like even yesterday we were talking about something and I was giving her some advice about something and she immediately went into defense mode. I say, if you really thought about what I was saying, that's a video you can make and go viral. And we was just talking about it, and I was just explaining to her. I said, "There's so many things I be wanting to talk to you about, or things that I want to say that can improve you and help you grow. But I don't want to go through a fucking back and forth of you trying to not acknowledge it first. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like as a man, it ruins the intimacy. It ruins." What I don't think what women realize, it make a man check out while he's still there. Now, me, it didn't make me do that because I have an outlet. I would always be honest. Hey, I'm finna go see Marianne or Sue Ellen. You're making me feel this way. I'm finna go get me a massage from another woman and get this off me. And I really do believe, whether people believe this or not, that's why I like the idea of poly and openness. It snaps a woman out of that bullshit. Let me cut that bullshit out, because when there's no openness or no poly situation, I've lived this situation with women. Okay, when a woman want to be right, or when you have had to check a woman, for lack of a better word, check a woman or call her or hold her accountable. Even if she knows she's 100,000% wrong, she's going to take you in that circle and that thing to deny and defend and all that, right?
Yes, sir.
And after an hour and you get her to see she's wrong and see she's made a mistake, now she'll turn into a little girl. And this is Friday night and we supposed to be going out to dinner. Now what she going to do is sabotage the night because she feel like my feelings got hurt, right? Now, let me explain this situation so you can see what I'm saying.
This is fire.
Okay. After I just checked you on this small thing, I ain't fussed, no nothing. We talked about it for an hour before we getting ready. You finally admit you're wrong. Once you admit you're wrong, I'm in the car. I'm playing our favorite music that we normally rapping on the way to the. You're not doing that. We get to the favorite restaurant that you love to go to. Now, the reason you love this restaurant, because they got a special drink called a drinky drink. And you go there because you love this drink. And then when we get there and the waitress say, can I have your drink orders? I said, she'll have the drinky drink. And I have the da. And then you'll say, I ain't drinking tonight. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're killing the vibe.
And you know what I say right then? Well, you can drive home. I'm finna go see one of my other women and then snap her out of that shit right then. I'm not gonna let you do me like that. That's why I was always saying I wanted an open relationship, because the thought of another woman makes another woman cut that shit out. When a man... And some men, old school men, they teach you when they do that. So, all right, then I'm gonna go out and hang out with the boys or something. And you put that thought in our mind. He might be getting ready to go fuck around. It's the only thing that makes us say, let me stop this dumb little girl shit.
Right.
So, I mean, can you please explain to me?
Okay.
The situation I just said, you got caught in a mistake. You finally admitted you're wrong. Now you're going to sabotage our evening so I can't have no peace because I didn't do nothing wrong to you other than tell you how I felt about something where you hurt me. Then you're going to sabotage the evening.
The only way to absorb all the nonsense with that is to own your shit. Remember, I told you he apologized to me for his outrage. But I turned around and apologized to him for not checking the address. So there's two apologies that need to be said. Not just your apology, not just her apology. The thing about it is, a lot of times women can't own their shit. The reality is, if I'm feeling a way about what we had going on before we got in the car, I need to deal with that. We spent all that whole hour to talk about it. That shit should be done. There should be no more carrying over in attitude, because attitude and body language speaks volumes to a man. You guys can pick that up better than me saying something to you. You know if you're getting the cold shoulder, don't touch me. No, I don't want to be bothered. Or why you want to do that? Why did you order my drink? I can order my own drink and all this other stuff. And now we're carrying over a disagreement or me just getting on to you about learning something about yourself. Now you don't want to face it, so now you're getting an attitude. Your attitude is a clear indication that you're not owning your shit. That's where most women have a hard time with. This is the whole point behind the book, She's Beside Herself. This is why I want men to read the book, because men will get the skinny on, oh, so my woman is 63, 53, 43, but she acts 9 years old. Because she reacts when I'm saying something to her. When I'm trying to advance her mind, she wants to hit back. I don't want to learn that far. I don't want to go that far. I want you to make all the decisions. Well, how are we supposed to grow in a relationship if you can't advance your mindset? We got to change some things here. This isn't going to work. And always saying that you're going to go to some other woman's house isn't always going to work. Because after a while, women start getting an attitude. Well, go ahead then. And then it's still not solving shit because you're like, I told her that shit, she didn't even budge.
So let me ask you this, because I've always said, you know, and I don't say that like literally, but I be like, well, look, I'm just about to go, you know, maybe she know what time it is because I didn't told her. But so say for example, my wife used to always say, I had this saying, I'll leave your ass where you're standing. Like as a dude, I've always felt like I'm not going to let a woman be a child around me. I don't care how much I like you. I will never speak to you again. And when you text me, I won't even look at it so you don't get closure. Because I want you to act like an adult with me. So check this out. This is where I feel like as men, and this is where I feel like we've lost why relationships don't work. And I'm gonna just be honest.
All right.
Can I say this? And this guy Chris Mayfield said something.
Okay.
A woman is like a child. A woman is like a child when it comes to accountability, right? Do you agree with that?
I agree. Yes.
Okay. Chris Mayfield said this is what Ike Turner was trying to say in that interview. That one interview, he said Tina, she will be walking around with her mouth poked out, moping, acting funny.
Yes.
He slapped the fuck out of her and she get right back to regular. Now, get what I'm saying so people don't misconstrue.
Okay.
That's why I said, listen, I'll be open because I'm not going to sit here and let you make me miserable when you're doing that. So I'll go see Marianne or Sue Ellen.
Right.
Number two, if we can't resolve it, I'll leave your ass today. You're going to let me leave. Right. You're not going to do that. Right. Number three, I can't slap the fuck out of you. But I really believe the reason we fucked up and our families is fucked up, a woman needs to be forced out of that behavior. Something has to scare her out of saying, I'm scared he gonna leave me. I'm scared he gonna slap me. I'm scared he gonna fuck somebody else. That's the only things, force is the only thing I believe that'll make a woman say, look, you know what? I'm afraid I'm gonna lose my man. Let me not do that dumb shit. Let me sit here and be honest and open. Let me talk. Because in my life, I don't have any horror stories with women because I've always been like that. Immediately, if you, like, say, for example, and I'm going to give you an example of what I mean, when a woman just trying to fish and play, where she wants some affection or she want a man to co-sign or appease her emotions, right? Say, for example, if I go over a woman's house, this before I was married, a woman I might just be dating, and she like me and want me to spend a little bit more time with her, right?
Right.
And I go over there and we chilling and I'm cooking, and she say, I ain't seen you in a whole month. You must have then replaced me. I turn around right then and say, hey, I replace your ass today when I want to. Don't mess your good time up with that dumb shit. If you got a question, or if you saying, I miss you, tell me you miss me. I've always forced a woman to express her true feelings. If you don't, I'm not going to deal with you at all.
Okay.
So say, for example, what I'm saying.
Okay.
You know how women don't like to express, and I think women are great. I think a woman's only flaw is just not want to be vulnerable and express her true feelings. So women, I have stopped dealing with women over the smallest thing, and it hurt them so bad when they text me, hey, stranger. That's a code for I missed you, but don't want to be vulnerable. I tell them, hey, don't text me no hey, stranger. If you miss me and you want to see me, you better text me, hey, I miss you. I want to see you. Act like an adult with me.
You're saying use your words.
Use your words.
Mm-hmm.
When we in the bed and you want some dick, don't if sometime rub on me. Don't just put your butt on me.
Right.
Be vulnerable. Be an adult.
No, that's facts.
And I feel like take it out of love relationships.
Right.
In every situation, in every type of relationship, if a woman ain't afraid she gonna lose something, she gonna act her way and hide her emotions and feelings, even with her co-workers, with her mom and her dad. If there isn't a fear of losing something, a woman is gonna do that little girl thing, which what you say is that princess treatment thing. Do you think that's assessed? Or what do you think about that?
I agree. Well, I think personally, and you gave those three as definite ways that women will snap back into place, but also awareness. I think we can't leave awareness out.
Break it down. How do we make them aware? How do you make them aware when they taking you in circles to deny the thing that's happened?
When you show them, actually, you have to be very specific. You just told me this, and this. I'm telling you that it's this, and this. Actually, you show them in their face that you are taking me onto this Ferris wheel, and I don't have time for that. What I am going to show you, though, is that what I won't allow in this relationship, if you can't be upfront about what you think, how you feel, then we don't have a relationship. You won't ever get upgraded in my life from this because you'll stay where you're at. In order to get an upgrade as a woman in my life and get more access to me and more time with me, I love when you said your wife earned her monogamy with you, all that shit. You're not going to get that type of time with me. You're not going to get that kind of access to me as long as you keep playing these silly ass games. It's just not going to happen.
So what got you past that? Does it just come down to the raw issue of a woman gonna do right for the right man, or did you grow into that, or did you meet the right man? Be straight up, Miss Carla. Did you grow in that on your own, or did you meet the right man? I'm gonna cut this shit out to stay around this man.
I'll be 100% honest. I believe that two things happened. I decided psychologically that I'm fucking this love shit up to no end. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was horrible. I was possessive. I was over the top. I would smother a man. I wasn't okay with open shit, nothing. Until I got to the point where I was like, you know what? Let me stop. For real. Like, let me stop and let me get serious about loving properly. And I'm not saying my way is the best way. I'm just saying the way I can do it where I'm not such a mess, a tyrant. I mean, no woman wants to come up to her man and his face is like this every time he sees you because your attitude, you're always frustrated, you're always asking a bunch of questions. That shit is annoying as hell. So I had to change my whole way of being who I was first. And then in that process, though, I had met someone that I was able to flow with and didn't want to possess. So I changed everything, Javon, like everything, how I flow, when I'm on, how I try to build a relationship. I'm like, I'm doing all this shit wrong.
Because Carla, I think the growth is there when you want to grow. I think there has to be a catalyst, a stimulus, or a trigger. Like, say, for example, you could have a dirt dog, lazy ass man that's sticking his dipstick in everything and won't work. He can meet the right woman, and that joker will go to work and stop cheating. And it ain't like he just heal and learn all these classes. It's just like, oh man, I got Greta now. I've been wanting Greta my whole damn life. I'm going to work for Greta. It's like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I was asking with you. Was it just like you met your partner? You was like, some made you say, you know what? I ain't gonna fuck this up. You know what I'm saying? Is it something that happened? Like you said, you just woke up one day and said, man, I'm fucking this love shit up. Just like a self-actualization.
It was. And I also I told you too. My dad even told me, I don't think this marriage thing is for you. I think you need to shut it down. he told me, like, I don't think you're doing it. I think it's not for you. And so when he said that, again, when I tell you certain things have been gifted to us in a way to where we can hear it, understand it, digest it, swallow it, and really be like, okay, let me simmer on this shit for real. What am I getting every time I go down this damn aisle? I'm not into it.
Carla, I definitely, before we get out of here, I definitely want to revisit this because just in setting up the conversation, it's such a long conversation. It's a cumulative conversation. We didn't get to go over what you thought what was happening, like the list of stuff. So I want to try to bring this back tomorrow and let me not do, not tomorrow, but next week, let me not do as much talking. And I want you to go down the list.
Yeah.
And just when I was reading those things, that's why I said it started making me feel a little empathetic. Like, well, maybe they all do be going. It's like almost like y'all go crazy in your mind.
No, we do.
Actually, go when someone confronts y'all and y'all wrong, y'all have a little crazy spell in your mind.
Yeah.
And you saying it goes back to that princess thing, you know, because I know with men, it's like we could feel like that, but life is going to fix that. Somebody going to go upside your head. So what I want to talk about, or even just throw out there, men know there are always immediate consequences when we try that shit. When a man try that shit, a man will say, hold on, bro. You said you ain't say that. Your word is your bond. Oh, so you calling me a liar? Bow. Yeah. So men couldn't just say, no, man, I ain't say that, man.
Right.
Oh, man, I ain't do that. You said 6 o'clock now. You just couldn't do that.
Right. So you're saying that the consequences.
The consequences. When a woman knows there's going to be consequences, they'll stop doing that. Now, what I'm saying is, whatever that consequence is, I just named Sue Ellen. Right. Being left or getting upside the head. Sometimes that consequence could be that man pulls affection from her and she don't like that. It's so many things, but those are the ones I'm more into punitive damages. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely want to revisit this because, like I said, the stuff that you had on the list, I just want you to go over that. It's almost like this needs to be a class. It's almost like a class that women can. It's all, you know what? Sometimes I feel like it's so sad, but I understand it, especially even more tonight. I would compare it to the very same thing that make a man think he tough, no matter what. It's like, grow the fuck up, man. I've seen this guy, he was saying, I'm a young nigga. I was a young nigga, so I never turned my back on the young niggas. I was like, no, you wasn't. Everybody was young. Just say you was a degenerate motherfucker that couldn't function. Right, you know what I'm saying? So stop acting. But yeah, I just really think this needs to be a class because it's not that we dumping on women.
No. This is to help evolve women. And you know, on my Patreon, it's called Evolve Her. Evolve her. A woman is to evolve. We celebrate every year a birthday, but it doesn't mean we grew to shit. It doesn't mean we learned anything. It doesn't mean anything. We just been on the planet 364 days longer than the last year. But it's not showing our real evolution of learning, our real evolution of being, our real evolution of mothering, our real evolution of being a woman and a partner, a couple. We're not.
And you know how many men are afraid? You know how many men, and this is the thing about marriage, Carla, and this is why I say in restoring our community, you know, men are not going to get married because of the things that we discussed tonight. Because men know, all right, if I marry you,
Right.
I have kids by you, and we got a nice house, a nice car, and I'm working 40, 50 hours a week.
Yes.
This phenomenon with a woman not being able to be accountable, it could just be the small thing. Baby, you keep leaving the oven on. She don't want to admit it. Take that man in circles, and it's a divorce and a broken family just because of. And that's why men are saying it's not worth it. So until our women get to the point, and that's what I mean when I say it's the very thing that stops all genuine communication. How can we fix anything if we can't genuinely communicate? If you're never wrong, if you never made a mistake, if you defend every fucking thing. So, Carla, I want to do a series of something. Can you work some out or
You already know.
blah, blah, blah? Because I want to revisit this next week.
I think we can blow this out. I already want to do workshops anyway with you. So I think this will be a great start. Because I think if we help women to evolve and emerge in her involvement in her learning of self, she'll slow down wanting to hurry love so that she can evolve into being in love. That's our problem. We want to hurry up and get down the aisle so fast that we're not making sure that we're evolving as a woman to be a really excellent partner or wife.
Glamorous Granny's '07 said marriage is not for everyone. That's true. Miss Carla's not married, but I'll give you a perfect example of what I mean. She got a partner that they are unified.
Right.
So whether you get married or not, a man ain't even gonna link himself to a woman. So forget marriage.
Right.
I know women who got their own place and men got their own place, and they've been dating, having their thing the last 20, 30 years.
Right.
But the only reason that man is still there because he can communicate with that woman. So it ain't about marriage.
No.
So fuck marriage.
Right.
Fuck marriage. What about sisters and sisters getting along? Mamas and daughters getting along. See, that's the thing. Women we talk about relationships, but this stops sisters and sisters, mothers and daughters. This is bigger than men. So fuck marriage.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah,
well,
I got to get out of here. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carla.
Real quick, I just wanted to say you do have to evolve even in mothering, even in sisterhood. This evolution has to happen. But it takes step by step of growth inside of soul first. Our living soul requires us to evolve. We can't just expect that, hey, I'm just going to dump in your life and then I'm just going to be perfect to you. That's not reality.
Appreciate you, Carla. Y'all stay tuned in, turned on, tapped in to my guy Trav tomorrow night, Thursday at 9:30. And me and Miss Carla gonna be back next week because Miss Carla got the true explanations. We just talking, rapping, setting this subject up, but she got some real answers to tell you women what's happening when y'all are going through that panic phase of not wanting to be accountable and what you can do to not let that build up. I appreciate you, Miss Carla.
I appreciate you, love. Good night.
All right. Bye-bye, y'all.